Welcome to the latest real estate market update for the Reno-Sparks area, this time for April 2023. In this video, we'll be diving into the latest trends, stats, and insights that you need to know in order to stay ahead of the game in this ultra-competitive market. So whether you're a homeowner, investor, or simply interested in the state of the market, this, my friends, is the video for you. So from new listings to price fluctuations, we'll be exploring all the key indicators of the market and what they mean for you so you can stay informed and ahead of the curve. So sit back, relax, and get ready to be informed, empowered, and hopefully a bit entertained with the latest real estate market update for Reno-Sparks. Let's get started. Now, before we dive into all of that, a couple of items of note. Number one, this is for the Reno-Sparks metro area only. This also includes single-family residential properties only. Homes, condos, does not include lots, lands, business opportunities, commercial, multifamily, etc. And if you're interested in a more detailed report on a home you're thinking of selling, or maybe you're thinking of buying a home and want to make sure it's priced correctly, visit our website for Reno Homes. You can click on the Find Out Now button right here, front and center, and we will send you an automated valuation report and follow it up with a much more detailed analysis. Now, we're not going to drive you crazy, call you 10 times a day, spam you to death. We just want to get some good information in your hands so you can start your real estate journey with the best information. So with all that said, let's dive into the first chart and the one we look at first every time, and that is interest rates. Why? Because that has the biggest impact on home prices. And the reason for that is 80% of homes bought and sold here in the Reno-Sparks area are done so with a mortgage. So a lot of people think there's fistfuls of cash coming over from California and people are buying homes all cash. Well, that's simply not the case. There is some cash, but only 20%. Now, interest rates have been in the news quite a bit lately with the bank collapses, SVB, and some others. And a lot of people think that may be good for real estate. And that may be true for the short term in that whenever there is any sort of chaos or crisis within the financial markets, people tend to fly to safety. They want to go find safe investment instruments, and bonds tend to fit that bill. And as more and more people buy treasuries and bonds, it tends to drive interest rates down. So I think for the short term, you may see interest rates fall, and is exactly what we've seen. We're right around the 6.5 range. But I think long term, with the Fed raising interest rates a quarter point in the March meeting, and many expect, myself included, for them to raise it another quarter point in April, you're going to see interest rates probably stay in this 6 to 7 range for the foreseeable future. Now, why does that matter? Well, it all comes down to affordability. The chart we're looking at here is what's called the affordability index, and this is generally the canary in the coal mine to tell you where prices are headed, because if homes are affordable, people will obviously buy them. If they become unaffordable, people obviously can't buy them. So what you're looking at here is this baseline of 100 is where the median household income earner can afford 100% of the median home price. Now, this is nationwide, so it's going to vary from area to area and market to market. But from a national level, you can see we've remained largely affordable. So as these numbers go up, homes become more affordable. As this chart drops and we go under 100, it becomes less affordable. And as you can see, we touched this area back in 05, 06, is back when the last crisis really unfolded. We started to see affordability hit its lowest point before home prices turned around. We obviously had the meltdown, and you can see they became extremely affordable after prices stopped. So where do we sit in the West with the affordability index? Well, we're well below that 100 mark here. You can see the 100 line is right about here. We dropped well below 100, and one of the lowest readings since back in the 80s, really. So homes are not exactly affordable. Now, that doesn't bode well for prices going forward. However, there is some good news. Now, before we get into these charts, I want to explain how they work. This is for March 2023. Even though it's the April market update, these are stats through the end of March. And when you see here, we're going to have the stats for March 2023 here. Prior period would be the previous month. So in this case, February 2023. And of course, same period prior year would be March of 2022. So every chart is going to have this on here. So I wanted to explain that before we get started. Now we're sitting at a median home price of $517,000, which is actually good because we've seen things level off a bit. Now, of course, we spiked to over $600,000 as the high almost exactly a year ago, and we've seen prices fall almost $100,000 from their peak. But they are up slightly from last month where they were $512,000, $500,000, but we're down 8.8% from the same period last year when it was $567,000. Now let's take a look at active listings. Now these are homes that are on the market that you can go look at. that you can potentially purchase if you're looking at buying a home. This is a total inventory that's out there ready to purchase. Right now we're sitting on 604 homes, which is down 11% from last month, where we had 681. But on the upside, it is up almost 30% from the same time last year. Now, the story gets a little more interesting when you start looking at active by price range. So from 3 to 400, and again, on all these charts, you'll see the price ranges down here. From 3 to 400, you can see roughly a little over 30. From 4 to 5, we've got a little over 80. And then we have a whole bunch in the 5 to 6, 6 to 7, and 700 to 1 million. A ton of inventory here. Now let's look at new listings. Now you probably may be asking, what's the difference between active and new? Now these are just the number of listings that were taken in the month of March. Now some of these may have already sold, some may still be on the market, but this is actual. This tells you the actual flow of listings for the month. 432 was the number. That's up over 25% from February, which is a good sign, but down significantly, over 37% from last year. Excuse me. We had 689. Now, if you look at new listings by price range, very similar chart as the actives, and that is most of your homes are coming on the market between 400 and 600 to 750 range is where the majority of these new listings are coming on the market. Now let's look at closed sales. Now these are the homes that sold in the month of March. 414, which is up 36+% from last month where it was 304, but down over 25% over last year where it was 555. So the story gets much more interesting when you take a look at closed by price. So these are the number of homes that sold in each price range. You can see obviously the largest number of sales were between $400,000 and $500,000, followed by 5 and 6, and so on. Now let's look at the month's inventory. Now this chart just basically shows you how many homes are on the market and how long it would take to sell through. So for example, let's say there's 1,000 homes on the market. You're selling on average 500 per month. That would be 2 months of inventory. So if you didn't list another house today or another house didn't come on the market, it would take roughly 2 months to sell through. We're sitting at a very low 1.5 months. Now, that is down almost 35% from last month. But the good news is that is up nearly 74% from last year where we only had less than a month's inventory. But the story once again gets more interesting when you look at inventory by price range. And if you look at $1.5 million plus, we have well over 4 months, 1 to 1.5 million, well over 3 months, 750 to $1 million, almost 3 months, right at 3 months. And this is where the issue lies, is down here in these lower price ranges. There's very, very little inventory on the market. So hopefully you got all the information you wanted out of this video. If not, don't hesitate to reach out over here at our website for renohomes.com. We'd be happy to answer any questions. Again, give you a great valuation on your property. And if you're thinking about selling your home, you owe it to yourself to check out Assist to Sell. Sell your home for only $4,995, $4,995, and we'll take care of everything you need an expert, professional, local real estate agent to take care of, from showing your property, advertising, doing absolutely everything. And the best part, when your home sells, you get a whole lot of extra money in your pocket. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Reno-Sparks Real Estate Market Update. Bye-bye.
Assist to Sell, way smarter.